Sound going now. So now I'm live, which means we can
God.
now start talking.
Oh no.
I'm not talking. What's
Oh,
happening?
you're not talking. I'm talking. We're doing the
Okay.
introduction bit.
We're being professional, consummate
Yes.
professional. Just
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Garblag Games. I am Ben, and I shall be your games master / narrator, or whatever you want to call me tonight. Just don't call me late for dinner.
late for dinner. Boom.
Hey.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
All right, Alden, who are you and what are you doing?
Hello, everybody. Just to let people who haven't seen the show before, that's as good as it gets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang around long enough, there'll probably be some knob jokes as well. So we can go lower. I will be playing Ulrich von Wagner, the private investigator / psychiatrist, fresh from the chilly slopes of Austria for reasons of his own.
Also joining us in the role of both player and producer is the lovely beard hiding behind, which is Sofino.
Oh, hello. Yes, I'm Sir Finio of aloneinthelabyrinth.blogspot.com. Self-promotion. And tonight I am playing the Reverend Huntington Greaves, a young Anglican priest.
It's important that you know he's young. This is like Simon and his tall.
Yeah. I'm ever so young. Perhaps only a little
We've
older than...
got Nye as well.
Hi, I'm Nye from Nye, and I'm playing Agnes, the vagabond girl from the north who is super trustworthy, doesn't lie, doesn't steal,
and has
really
never
nice.
once blocked plot development for anyone else in the group at all.
Nope, I've never done that.
Totally none of that. No.
And last but not least this evening, we have Claire, who's frozen.
Who may have frozen.
And who's now unfrozen, because I have that power.
I'm playing Millicent Wortley Smam. Oh.
You good?
Woo!
Yeah, you're going. Go.
Okay. I am Millicent Wortley Smythe, and I am playing a widow from Godalming who is, I'm playing a hunter archetype.
Splendid. And we don't have Pete with us this evening because he made the very wise decision to celebrate his anniversary so that he can have another one next year.
Yes. So
he's been replaced by a holding picture.
The silent air.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we just look terrible now.
Not at all.
No,
not at all.
Better as a result.
Fabulous.
Hey.
Captain Darling.
So this is Vaesen by the Free League. A lovely little game, very, very pretty, nice strokey book. You should buy it because it's worth it just to stroke the book. The paper is very high quality. The game is also excellent. To recap us on last week, let's have... do we really want Nye's perspective on this? Because that could be madness. Didn't you do last week? Oh, you can do it. Go on then. Go ahead. Right, Nye's going to do us our recap.
So, we were already invited at a house by a guy I can't remember the name of, with his butler who I also can't remember the name of, and we were offered to investigate the house of the previous investigators of the supernatural. I can't remember any of their names. We went in there after a bit of dithering and wine and whatever else, and we split up voluntarily into teams, with me in team A and the rest of them in team B. I went into the library and didn't see anything. They went into another place and saw a dead lady who was a ghost. I need to make that point clear. And the ghost had been attacked by something, which makes us believe that the acclaimed fire that killed them all wasn't real, and perhaps it was a cover for monsters of some description. We then went upstairs and we split up voluntarily again, this time with the priest and Agnes, the vagabond, going to check the armory, where nothing happened. And then
Agnes definitely didn't break open all the boxes and steal anything.
Exactly, yeah, I didn't say that. And then the other three, the psychiatrist, the hunter, and the soldier, officer, artillerist went into the scrying room, and there was a scary, spooky ghost werewolf, and Millicent shot Albrecht, and
Is that a callback?
yeah, I remember that very distinctly. Non-lethally, yeah, he survived.
Yeah, just a little bit shot in the arm. Yeah.
And we
I
were
was
going.
aiming for the ball.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you hit the arm.
and now only one of them. And now we're gonna check the rest of the cat. Oh, and we checked a French lady's bedroom, and she's a very modern lady, and it had no spooky ghosts in it.
Simultaneously true and also more holy than a Swiss cheese.
I think people will follow along. Watch
I'm
the
sure
previous
everybody got that.
episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should always do the recaps. I'm great at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shall bear that in mind.
The total lack of...
So yes, the house in question is Hoxne Hall, the home of Brigadier Sir Steven... No, that was close. I nearly said that chap who used to be in the ultra right wing. So Steven Hatt-Egerton retired, and his butler, who is named Culver. People are sure he must have a last name, but nobody knows what it is. Or he might have a first name, and nobody knows what it is.
No.
You definitely didn't find the ghost of Professor Ramsey Mcdonald in the library and see that floating around.
Yep.
And witness his little kilt dagger being whisked away by something large and invisible.
Yep.
Oh wait, that
You
sounds
definitely
like a
didn't see the
clue.
ghost of an Irish hunter with one of those moustaches that goes into the mutton chops and a flat cap and a bit of a slouch. He definitely didn't appear in the armory.
Nope.
Olympe Saint-Germain, the French lady in the seance room, she was definitely seen. As was Elena Sherry, the young lady in the writing room.
Yeah, who we
You also
believe
found a
to be-
photo with many other people on.
And we believe Miss Sherry to be the author of the journal we found. In fact, we know that because we found her
Yeah, it's
signature
got
at the
her
bottom.
name in it.
We
Yeah.
believe the ghost to have been her, and
Yes.
and Ben has
And
also
I
found
have a
that.
Like the
diary
picture of her.
full of French poetry that I can't read because I don't speak French.
But yet you've still stolen it.
Yep, and
So
I'm
there's
not
2 books that you
telling
can't
anyone
read
that
that
I
you've
have
stolen.
It's the principle.
Yeah. It's the thought that counts.
Being what?
Property is
Honest.
theft.
I'm very honest.
Theft is property. Property is
Something like that. Yeah.
one of
An
them.
honest person tells you what you want to hear. So
But you don't tell us anything.
I've told you everything that I feel comfortable telling you, which is nothing.
Which
So there
is
we go.
basically nothing apart from some interesting new words, which I don't think are very polite.
So you had
No.
investigated a couple of rooms on the ground floor and a couple of rooms on the first floor. There was one room remaining on the first floor and a set of double doors that you hadn't noticed before.
Be in the
Strange. I would have thought we would have noticed
armory.
big doors.
In the armory.
Is that where we were?
Yeah, no, we went through
Yes,
it.
you went through the armory and you were
Yeah.
just coming into the next room that was in there.
Okay.
It's all antiquated, though. We weren't to get too excited. We were told that explicitly.
Yes,
So-
it is all quite old and dusty, and there's nothing terribly new looking in there.
Yeah.
This new room, when you shine your lights around the inside of it, appears to be a portrait gallery.
Oh, lame.
Lots of fairly large, ornate portraits hang on the wall, covered with dust sheets, though, that makes it difficult to make out what they're pictures of. There are a few seats and settees and small tables dotted around in the room. It looks like it could double as a reading room and a portrait gallery, somewhere to record and notice what was going on. There are also some trophy hooks, but no trophies.
Are the tables like Davenports with little drawers, or are they just flat, like little... I've probably used the wrong term, but whatever. Are they just like little tables? Like
Small
you have?
circular coffee tables
Okay,
with
that's
a
fine.
single central leg and a tripod foot.
Okay, yep, that's okay.
Although currently covered with
yeah,
dust sheets, as are the armchairs, although you can see the sort of crook of the foot of one armchair and a hint of leather behind one of the dust sheets.
We can roughly make out what everything would be based on context clues and stuff. I look around disinterested.
I'm going to walk over to one of the paintings, the nearest one, and just pull the dust sheet off and have a look.
Okay. Could you please make Anne, I've got to get the right one, because it's observation or investigation, isn't it?
I think it's investigation. Oh, wait, unless they're analysing something, like a personal thing. Because observation...
Well, I think, again, either of them are appropriate, so it would be...
Yeah, it depends on the context, because it's like...
Yeah, it'll change the context of the information that you get. But
Yeah,
I think
that's what I
either
mean.
observation or investigation would be an appropriate role to go for. If anybody wants to make that role, either of those roles, feel free.
Investigation.
Well, yeah, just a reminder, investigation's like the logistical, this is what I see, this is what it is. And then observation is like I see this and I can assume this ideal or like emotion or something from it.
The painting that you've uncovered, Millicent, is of the priestly gentleman from the photograph that you took from downstairs, although much larger and done in a sort of portrait style. So he's standing with a Bible in one hand and his hand pressed against his belly, shoulders back, head slightly to one side, looking out of a window somewhere in the hall.
This is my Father Samson, yeah?
I'll go for an observation roll. Let me just quickly...
That's the man, yes.
Okay.
Dr. von
Does
Wagner.
look like it.
2d6.
I'm assuming the other pictures might be of the others then. I mean...
Why don't we find out?
I critically failed
Oh, well done.
on my observation.
It's
I was
a
so
bunch of old
disinterested,
pictures.
I just go...
Yeah, it's a bunch of old pictures of dead dudes.
I'm tempted just to walk out, that's how disinterested... Oh, fuck.
There is the other door leading back out into the corridor instead of going back through the armory, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll wander off. This is
Okay,
super
bye.
late. I'm only doing this because of the crit fail. It was 2 1s, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to wander off.
We will
Yeah, no
continue to
problem.
uncover the rest of
No, don't go for it.
You uncover the rest of the pictures. They are all the same people from the photograph downstairs, only slightly older, slightly better dressed, and looking a little bit more serious. It's only the sort of principal members of the group that are in here.
The ones that get paid the big
Sorry,
bucks.
is there a picture of Redfield here?
There is indeed a picture of Mr. Redfield, the private investigator.
Oh. Do they have little plaques underneath them so we can identify them, or do we?
They
play
do,
the
yes.
guessing game?
These ones have little name plaques
Yeah.
on the frame, so you can identify who they are.
This
Okay,
would cost money.
okay, so who
Small
has seen
brass plaque on
who has
each picture.
seen dead people? Millicent, I think you saw something, and also the Reverend Huntingdon.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah. So, which of these lovely people have you seen?
The young lady. Do I spot
Miss
Miss
Sherry?
Sherry?
Yes, you do. The picture of her, she's stood next to one of the writing tables from downstairs with one hand on a book and a sort of whimsical look in her eye as she looks off into the distance with a quill pen in her hand.
Can we read the title?
But what you do notice, Reverend, is the picture of Redfield moved. When you looked at it, the head turned to look at you and then turned back again.
So
This isn't
not the
that
picture,
like-
but the picture, the head turned to look.
The
at me.
face of the picture turned to look
Oh,
at you
okay.
and then turned away again back into the
I
picture.
thought it was like the eye thing, like the eyes are following you wherever you go. It's like, yeah.
Head following you
No,
round.
the actual head in the painting turns.
Yeah, the head of the figure in the
That's
painting
actually
who's
quite creepy.
smoking a pipe with one hand tucked inside a waistcoat, turns to look at you, turns away from the pipe, which does a little bit of clipping as the pipe sort of seems to disappear into its head, but it definitely looks straight at you and then fades back into the picture.
Father, are you okay?
I don't relate this to the group, obviously.
Would that be
You can
that's
see,
not a fear thing.
but I just place my hand on the picture for a moment.
You feel something brush your hand, something that doesn't feel like paint. For a moment, almost like there's contact back again.
High fives, yeah.
Are you there?
Father?
I'm sorry.
Is everything all right?
Yes. I just a moment. Yeah. What? Yeah. So we have portraits.
Albrecht, when you turn around to see what the Reverend is talking to or looking at, as he looks away from the painting and you're looking at it, a tree comes out of nowhere and crushes the figure in the painting flat.
Okay.
There's arterial spray flying out. You can't hear bones breaking, but you can imagine the sound of the amount of force that it would take to crush a person with that level of violence. And then it's gone again. Make a fear check.
Yeah, okay.
It's just your imagination. It's just your figure of your imagination, isn't it?
I've had too much cheese, I think, with dinner.
Well, being shot will, make
Yeah,
you
and also I was shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes people be crushed by trees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Clearly a combination of cheese and lead poisoning.
lead poisoning. Cheese and cordite, they go well
very
together.
explainable, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Right. Okay, good. Anyone else want to look at paintings?
Oh, I've gone. I've
You do okay. I mean,
Yeah, fine. Yeah, fine. Yep. I'm gonna have another cigar.
Listen, pats you on the place that she shot. How you?
Just biff. Stiff up a little, old chap. Bonk.
well, I don't think there's much in here apart from some dusty old paintings, are there? So
No, there doesn't seem to be much at all. Do you agree, Father? Have you observed anything that may be
And then,
pertinent?
well, at that point, the Reverend Huntington Greaves removes the photo we obtained from downstairs and just, yes, perhaps it might be just an opportunity to just check that the people identifiable in this photograph correspond to the portraits here, perhaps?
Yeah, I think it's a very good idea. We can make some notes. Okay.
Yes, the portraits then. Oh, morning, Beowulf. You crazy
Good
fool.
morning, Australia.
Good morning, Australia.
The portraits then,
G'day.
as you compare them to the photo, as I said, they're all slightly older, more experienced looking. They don't look sort of world weary or trodden down or anything. These portraits have clearly been done to show them at their best, at their strongest, and they're vibrant with life and energy. And Professor Ramsey Mcdonald is one of them, one of the first ones that you saw, and you can identify him as the gentleman in the academic robes, huge red beard, great big mop of curly red hair. There's a stocky woman who looked like a nurse in the first picture, was indeed a nurse, which is one of the reasons she looked like it. Nurse Bridget Evans, was a member of the Lantern Society, probably one of the shorter members of the group, but quite wide. In the picture, it shows her wearing an apron over a blouse and skirt, and there is a little bit of blood on the apron, and it looks like she's viewing some kind of dissection table in the portrait. But she looks very serious, and she's clearly given deep thought. This is an unusual position to see a lady in for the time. It's impressive to see that she's been associated quite closely with the medical professional. Cade Byrne, in his picture, is stood upright and shows how tall he is. He's got 1 foot up on a dry stone wall and is the only one pictured outside. In the picture, he has a pointer with him, dog, and a large rifle, almost the size of an elephant gun, over his shoulder. Olympe Saint-Germain, in the picture, she actually has her veil back, and she's shown stood in the seance room that you've already been in. A picture of elegance, sophistication, and beauty.
Super hot.
Her face is a vision, her figure is divine, and she's stood in that salon, as you would call it, seeing her in there, holding a tarot card in one hand, but you can't see what the face of it is, only the back.
Goth.
Naturally.
Total.
Father Sampson Asher is directly opposite her and almost seems to scowl out of his painting at hers. He's clearly a man of the cloth. He's portrayed with full Anglican regalia on, as though he were presiding over a service. He has a crook in one hand and a Bible in the other. Israel Redfield, that you've already seen, the private detective with his permanently quirked eyebrow and a pencil-thin moustache, looking the very picture of sarcastic insouciance. And Elena Sherry, as you've seen, stood in the writing room downstairs with a hand on a book, looking off into the distance thoughtfully. The only other painting in there is of Captain Sir Steven Hatt-Egerton, a military officer in his prime, in full military dress uniform with a batch of medals across there, sabre at one hip, mighty moustache, stood next to a metal helm with a plume in it.
Our erstwhile host. He was once a young man with working legs. This is nice.
Those are the only portraits in there. There isn't one of either Culver or of the boy.
What of little Tommy?
Yeah.
Does he not get a painting?
Tommy's name wasn't on the portrait either.
No. Rude.
Sorry,
Okay.
this is
Do
as
they all look like they were painted by the same hand?
They do look like they were painted by the same hand, yes.
How expensive it would be to like get separate art experts. Like, oh my god, they were minted.
You have different styles. One with cubist, one with natural.
The kind of
This is Sir Steven
mashup.
Hatt-Egerton as painted by Mondrian. That's actually
Yeah,
6
exactly.
squares in primary colours.
As much for my benefit as for the Reverends, can we see the, and I've lost track a little bit, but who the figure that Agnes and the Reverend saw in the armory? Which one was that?
That
the
was
armory.
Cade Byrne
Yeah.
that was seen in the armory.
So
Yeah.
in these pictures, he's kind of upright with the dog and the blunderbuss.
not-
In this picture, yeah, he's clearly quite a tall man, stood 1 foot up on a dry stone wall. He's got a pointer and a shotgun.
Yeah, not crumpled up.
Did he always look like he'd been smooshed like Play-Doh?
Not smushed like Play-Doh in the picture, no.
Okay, that's good. Good to know. Good to know.
Oddly. Yeah. It's fair to check, you know.
Oh, of course, I wholeheartedly agree.
Okay, so we have identified everyone, we think, and now when we come across more horrific Oh, terrible visages of their death.
You can say
We
that.
will know who we are looking at. Okay, this is so useful. I'm so pleased.
Do I detect?
So how many echoes have we seen so far? Are we 3, 4 down, several to go?
But
Oh,
I'm not
depends.
quite sure on the experience that the father had, but I saw something happen to Mr. Redfield in the painting.
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Redfield in the painting.
You saw something happen to Mr. Redfield. When?
In the painting. Just now.
When did?
What do you mean happened?
Oh,
He
Yeah.
was crushed by an enormous tree. There was blood and eyeballs and squishy bits. It
For-
was horrible.
for context, out of character, we have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5. No, yeah, 5
Five deaths.
apparitions. In character, you guys are only familiar with 4
Mhm.
because I refuse to tell you what I saw in the library.
Agnes isn't helpful.
It would have been 3, but the man of cloth followed me to the armory.
And
So
was honest. Oh, imagine that.
it'd be really shit if he wasn't. He's
You
one
asked
of God's.
him to lie. And he
I
didn't.
did, and he didn't bite.
No.
What's up with that?
He was very
Strange.
confused by your request for him to lie. It's just,
And as I said at the time, information is power. If you freely give up information, you lose your power.
But he
I
has the
think
power
you're
of God.
rather cynical for a...
Well, I'm not here, so
Yeah, this is my own inner monologue, flashing back,
Yeah.
thinking.
yeah. Well, it's a flashback.
But
And I'm flashing back to you, going
Even
wah wah
down
wah
your
wah wah
shoulder.
wah wah.
yeah,
So, what do you
Jesus,
want to do
Jesus.
out in the corridor, Agnes? Now that you've wandered away from the group, there's big double doors
Yeah,
that were
Yeah,
sort of
that-
tucked away in an alcove.
might be something worth knowing there.
Cracking open those double doors, and they do creak slightly as they open. They lead out onto a balcony that runs all the way around the outside edge of a very large ballroom.
Oh wow, okay.
Cobweb encrusted chandeliers hang from the ceiling. There are a number of tables underneath the balcony, and around the edge of what looks to be a dance floor, there is a hard wooden, slightly raised platform in the middle of this ballroom.
Wow. Question: is there any other doors that I've not gone through? Is there one at the other end, or is it a one-way?
On the
Door
balcony
exit.
that you're going out to, or
Yeah.
in the room that you're currently in?
In the room that I'm
Going
currently in.
into the ballroom, yes, there are other doors leading out of the ballroom. There's some at the far end, and there's
Okay.
some on either side as well.
I'm going to try and phrase this the best we can. Which door would logically be somewhere I've not been, if that follows?
Anywhere in front of you, the
Oh,
ballroom
anywhere,
itself,
okay.
and any of the doors leading out of the
Are
balcony
completely going. Okay, interesting.
are rooms that you've not been in. Yeah,
I'd like to go.
presumably there must be another entrance down below as well to
Yes.
get into the ballroom that you haven't found yet.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you, Norman Smith, for subscribing with Prime. We appreciate.
Thank you very much. I would like to go to the nearest doorway because there's not really much I can do with a ballroom. I mean, I'll gawk like, oh, this is pretty nice, but I'm not gonna.
Left or right? They're about equidistant.
Left.
Heading to the left, right?
On the
So you
left.
curve around the ballroom to the left,
Mm-hmm.
and there's another, not double door this time. This is just a single door that leads out into a stairwell, leading both
Okay.
up and down. You've got a staircase going down. You've got a staircase going up.
Okay, I want to get extra lost. I'm gonna go up.
Miss Agnes, please.
I can't hear you. Even if I can't hear you, I'm gonna ignore
I really
you.
must insist. We shouldn't separate from,
Wow.
from one another.
Have you chased after me? Holy, like I've been doing this all while you've been in there.
Yeah, this was while you were all uncovering.
Yeah,
portals.
I'm gone.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
really?
gone.
Okay, just
Yeah.
like, yeah. Pictures, huh?
Oh, pictures.
Them off.
Can't nick them. Too
Instead,
big.
Well,
Miss,
I wouldn't.
where is Miss Agnes?
I wouldn't have if I crit failed, but I feel like that's the most like roleplay thing to do. Like, oh, this is super shite. Right, I'm leaving.
Heading up the stairs leads you to a corridor full of bedrooms, it would appear.
Okay.
There
Yeah, I
are
can work
beds
with
in
that.
them, all covered over again, dust sheets on everything, cupboards, chests of drawers, quite thick, heavy drapes over stained glass, or not stained glass, leaded glass windows. That was what I was looking for.
Okay. Can I hesitate? I guess this is some kind of servants' quarters.
No, this is definitely not servants' quarters.
Okay.
These are quite well-appointed bedrooms.
Right. Okay. So this is probably the bedrooms of the. That's actually a question. It's fine. I was going to ask, like, would they have had servants other than the butler? But we haven't.
That
really
was what
seen...
the annex was built for. Was
Yeah.
built as new servants' quarters. But you
Right.
haven't seen any servants
Yeah,
other than
like
Culver.
no, but we've also not really seen any signs because servants, like, they have their own little like doorways and stuff, so they can get around without notice, like being in the mansion. Itself. Who knows? Yeah, I'll have a rummage around in the bedrooms. Sorry, that's me getting into my weird knowledge.
Yeah, no problems. As you rummaging around in the bedrooms is quite irritatingly unfruitful, unfortunately. It looks like whatever was in these bedrooms has been removed from them. Personal effects and such, like the drawers are empty, the cupboards are empty except for a few hangers, the beds are unmade underneath the dust sheets.
Oh, okay, interesting. So all the bed stuff is still there, like the sheets and all that kind of stuff.
They're not in the room. The bed is there, and the mattress is there, but
Right,
underneath the dust sheet, that's all there is.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I was about to say that'd be a really weird thing to leave.
Well, sorry,
like,
pillows are there, but
Yeah. Okay,
not
okay.
covered.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's going to take you a while to search
Yeah.
around there. Oh, he's talented, isn't he? Safino broke his chair.
Oh.
No, I don't want to know.
Wait, what?
Did you fail your sit-down check?
They say
I
you
didn't-
shouldn't roll for irrelevant things.
My chair failed my Safino check. It's Safino check, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so back in the portrait gallery, where
Yeah,
the
okay.
action isn't.
Yeah, we should probably move on. These people are all probably dead.
Ray of sunshine.
We should find out how they died horribly.
Yes, let's explore the rest of the hall.
Do we want to place bets on who we will see die horribly next? You know, makes this fun. Maybe put some money on it.
If you like,
Why
why
am I
not?
not hanging out with you? This would be. I should be. God damn! If I knew you were this twisted.
Could have made some money after all.
I know.
Albrecht's just given up on humanity now.
So when you leave the portrait gallery, the first thing you notice is that the double doors that were previously closed have been opened.
I would close them.
And there are some dusty footprints on
Yeah,
the
I don't
balcony
give a
around the ballroom, which you can now also see. There is a large ballroom with a
large
balcony running
balls.
around the outside. Covered tables down underneath the balcony, a dance floor.
Yeah, you should go down there.
Yeah, who
Some
wants to
dusty
dance?
footprints moving around the
Leave my
left-hand
loot
side of the thickly carpeted floor. Long red velvet drapes.
Oh wow.
Nice. I like it here. Okay.
So are we going to let the little urchin run amok, or
Well,
I rather fear she's a law unto herself.
probably
Yeah,
trying to
I-
find things to steal?
I think
Well,
you're right. So
For some reason, the Brigadier sees something in her, and
well, she's clearly had a hard life, short but hard. So maybe we should cut her some, some rope. I think is how you say in English, yeah?
I think that's the first time you've done like a jokey, I don't know how an idiom works bit. And I love it. I want more. That was great.
I'm working up to it. Thank you.
Cut her some rope. That doesn't sound at all like a lynching.
Ouch.
So, what do you want to do, you three?
Reverend, what do you want to do? Do you want to follow the young lady, yeah? Make sure she is okay?
I'm not saying I am interested in yes, yes.
You're not interested in what, exactly?
Following persons of any description. I'd just rather think it behooves us to remain united.
Making notes now. So, yeah, absolutely.
I must say, I'm both fascinated and unsettled by your habit of these lines of inquiry which you pursue.
He keeps wanting to touch your skull for some
you find this unsettling, you say. Please tell me more.
Should we not
oh, you do not wish to discuss this.
Madam Wortley Smythe, what do you think we should do?
Deflecting.
Well, I guess
good.
if we're to stop the young and stealing things, we should probably catch up with her.
And put her in a sack? What is your plan when we find her?
An old Austrian child.
It's an old
that what the
Austrian
rope is
story. You know, around the Christmas time, all the naughty children are put in a sack and beaten with sticks. Yeah.
And then thrown in the river.
And the good children are put in a sack and not beaten with sticks.
Do you often find it necessary to speak about your childhood?
That's not my childhood. That's not
mine. He came with parts of Austria.
So as you natter, you sort of wander round the balcony, and it doesn't take long, Agnes, before you hear the sound of conversation coming up the corridor towards you.
Okay.
The corridor that you're passing down has wood-panelled walls, sort of checker print carpet along the floor. There are lanterns on the wall, but none of them are lit. The bedroom doors appear to be open, and it looks like someone's had a bit of a poke through them as you wander down the corridor.
Are we seeing the same dusty footprints?
Yes, the same sort of footprints in the dust that would indicate to you that the same person
has
come this way.
But I wouldn't do that. I'm too brazen.
You notice from her steps she has no hesitation in intruding on the places of others. Have you noticed this? This is most extraordinary. I think she will make a wonderful study.
There's a slight breeze in this corridor, and you can hear a faint sort of hooting noise, like a
just an owl
sound. No, it's much too long for an owl.
Definitely an owl.
Is it any type of bird I might recognise?
It's definitely not a bird, no.
Strange noise.
Ooh.
Well, what do you reckon it is, Lady Millicent?
Am I hearing
not heard a bird like it at all. Perhaps, I don't know. Some
yes,
kind
you
of,
also hear it now, Agnes.
Oh gosh, that's not good.
Rodenty, mammally. Oh, must be lots of rats here.
Definite temperature drop in the corridor as well.
It's a rat choir.
I reach into my jacket pocket and once more produce my Holy Bible, not my unholy Bible.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Not the one
on the other side.
The one you're keeping in reserve.
It's the neutral one in the middle as well. Don't forget that one.
The idea being that you could just bang the two together and it like creates an explosion.
Yeah, like matter and antimatter.
Well, they're like magnets. You don't want
exactly.
What is that, Sheba? What can you hear?
The dog doesn't appear to be too phased by it. She's like, looks up at you.
See, I told you it was fine.
Ruh-roh.
And when you get to the end of that corridor, you notice that one of the bits of leaded glass has slipped slightly in the window and created a small gap through which the wind is blowing.
Oh, there we go.
It's just an auditory illusion. formed by wind traveling through a very small aperture. It's all perfectly explainable by science.
You figure
In
at
this
this point that
instance?
you are probably above the entry hall,
Oh, okay.
having come all the way back along the side of the ballroom with all of these bedrooms, like a whole wing of bedrooms along one side.
No,
Guest
no, how-
rooms, one could say. Or...
Yeah. Do we
So
feel,
you're probably
do we,
above the entrance hall where you are now, and as looking out of that broken window, you can see down to the steps, which are just off to one side.
Okay.
And
Are
the
we
corridor continues around, looks like a sort of squared off horseshoe shape around this area. A few more portraits and paintings, mostly landscapes around here. Looks like local work. You're sure you recognise some of the hills and forested areas from your arrival over the last few days.
Just make sure the artilleryman is getting all of this on his map.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
Because
We'll
this
have a
building
detailed
is
map
very
of the-
confusing.
Pacing it out.
I do not understand.
Oh, sorry.
Professional, knows what he's doing.
Now, as you turn around to the right, the corridor continues. There is a door, wooden with a glass panel in it, and on the glass panel there is a large red cross painted.
Am I with them, or am I still rummaging around?
Well, I
wondering.
figured you probably joined in with them again now, but if you want to still be rummaging, that's fine too.
Yeah, I'll be
You
rummaging.
won't
Let's
find
see.
anything in the rooms,
Yeah, but I don't know that.
but you don't know that, and it's worth a rummage.
Do we get a
Exactly.
sense that these
Go on, make a
are...
rummage roll, Agnes, and if you
okay,
do
yeah.
spectacularly well, you might find something that's slipped down a crack.
What's a rummage roll?
No, make a roll that looks
Investigation.
So
rummagey.
she
Investigation, maybe?
Yeah.
Rummage.
Investigation's
that
quite
sounds
rummagey.
normal, doesn't it?
Okay, I don't have any spec in that. I just have 4 in logic. God damn it.
Oh, only 4 in logic.
If only someone could help you.
Yeah, we're not rummaging
But
there.
no. you're
No,
off
I
on
got
your
a 4 and a
own.
1.
Rummage,
I didn't
well.
get it.
No, you don't
rummage.
find anything of excitement or value.
That
Damn.
is a shame.
There's a small wooden plaque on the wooden part of the door underneath the glass that says Infirmary.
Oh,
Oh, maybe we will see the nurse die horribly. Okay, I'm putting 10 marks on the nurse. Who wants anyone else?
no, I'm with you there.
Okay, no one else? No one placing any more bets?
It's rather interesting, Herr von Wagner, that you are foreshadowing or predicting what you believe to be an audio-visual hallucination about
Well,
to take
yeah,
place.
you know, this is
Can you
part of the science of understanding the mind. Is
How
realizing
does
how
your
it
science explain what you saw in the portrait in the library with the tree?
It does not yet. I need to gather more data. Yeah, this is how we approach things. If we do not understand them, we continue to gather other things we do not understand until we have enough.
And all things are within the purview of the intellect of
Oh,
humanity.
wait.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ben, how does
You
rolling in
know
this
the
game
mind
work
of the
again?
ineffable.
Oh, that's a good point.
Well,
6s
my
are successes, 1s are generally bad,
Was
but
I
on an
supposed to be-
investigation.
I fucked up. I've been adding them as a modifier, not as the actual physical dice.
Oh no, you rolled them as actual physical dice.
Yeah, can I re-roll again with 6 dice now?
A classic Ben move, that. Oh, I rolled
Okay,
the
I got
wrong
1
dice.
success
I got a
then
7.
for the rummage.
Oh, it's a whole bunch of 6s.
No, it is. It's just 1 6. I'm not doing the observation though, obviously, because that's past. But
You find a silver shilling in one of the
oh,
rooms.
really? Awesome!
But
That
your
makes
hand
me-
gets stuck in a crack in the floor. You're trying to get it.
It's glued to the floor. You can't get it off.
It's,
And it's been heated
fallen down the back of one of the bedposts, but you've got scrawny
Hey.
little fingers, so you're able to
Yeah.
slide your finger in and roll it out to a position where you can get it.
twirl the coin between my fingers.
Make an observation check while you're down there.
Yeah, probably.
No, wait, investigation, not observation.
Oh, my investigation. Fuck. I only have 4. Oh no. No successes.
Okay.
Didn't investigate shit.
You hear a little pitter patter under the bed while you're under there, but it's probably mice.
Yeah, that's the norm.
Yeah, it's probably mice. Or lobsters.
Well,
I
lobster
will
mice.
nick a pillow though. If there are
The-
pillows on the bed.
Okay.
Probably massive and quite solid.
Yeah, I'll just I'll grab like a bit of belt or whatever I've got attached to me because I'm just dressed like a hoarder, and I just wrap it round my waist and put the pillow on my back.
Like a borrower.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you trying to make yourself look fat? I don't quite know what's happening here.
Well, no, I want a nice pillow because you're not going to let me sleep in this house, are you?
Well, I don't mind.
I have appeared now. We'll just say I showed up. Hey.
Hi, I see you have stolen a pillow.
I haven't stolen it. This is ours.
No.
Yeah, are we not going to live here?
I
If
think
we're
we're
going to
just
live
staying
here,
tonight, aren't we? Yeah.
why are you
Aw.
carrying a pillow around?
I'm rather hoping we might stay in the annex rather than in here.
No, I thought we
Yeah,
had to stay the whole night. I thought that was the point.
Yeah. We had to stay here, so I figured if we're staying here, that's ownership. So we own, squatting law.
Well, for tonight, I suppose. As long as it doesn't cross the threshold when you leave, technically.
Yeah, exactly. I won't be leaving with any of this stuff.
So you're outside the infirmary.
Right then.
It's the bejeebus
Let's have a
out of it
look.
as well.
But don't
gonna
feel pressured to
start
go in
that.
there if you don't want to. There are other rooms to continue exploring if you wish.
Oh, I'll leave them
No,
alone.
I have put money
Can
on
I
the
open
nurse
the door?
dying.
Wait,
I-
Albrecht.
Agnes,
What
yeah.
do you say?
If we're putting money on who is going to see the next horrible vision and who it will be dying, so I have 10
Alright.
marks on it being nurse Bridget Evans dying in the
Okay.
infirmary.
And this is an
would you like-
infirmary.
Would you like to bet?
Who's the against? Who's betting against?
Nobody so far.
How
Well,
do
I'm not
no
going to
one-
get anything because I want
one
to
is
vote. I want
taking
to bet.
money.
Yeah, that we'll see her in here.
Okay, so just for my own amusement. Fine.
Yeah. Well, it's for my amusement as well. I'll put a couple shillings in.
Okay. Also on nurse Bridget?
Yeah, that we'll see Nurse Bridget.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone want to
Yeah.
go Father Samson?
I-
Or maybe the Professor Ramsey, if we have not seen him die yet?
Nah.
I'm
That'll be
not
the
a gambling man.
Why not?
It's against his religion.
No. It's not prescribed by the teachings of the Anglican Church. It's just advised
Is
inadvisable.
gambling.
I like how you
that
slid
his
that in
God
there.
exists. This is the gambles that the priest is making.
It is a
Oh.
gamble we all must make, yes?
Oh, well, I'm gambling that he doesn't. So yeah, I see your point.
Quite. We'll see who's correct. Or not, if you
In
are.
the end. Yeah.
You
Oh,
better
is it
pray that
wrong?
nobody sees the Phantom Nun.
There's
Sorry,
a
what
nun.
now? There's a voice in my head talking about phantom nuns.
Okay, I
Anyone
open the infirmary.
Tell
'cause
me
I
more
also
about
want
these
to heal.
nuns.
I mean, find some stuff. I
So
immediately go
the
inside.
infirmary then, as you
Yeah.
open the door into the infirmary, it's not terribly modern looking. It appears to be made in sort of 3 sections, sort of curtained off from one another rather than walled off from one another.
I like how
There's
you
a
assume
ward
I can go to
area
the hospital.
here. The first bit that you walk into is a ward area,
Okay.
and this has got 3 beds and what looks to be a nurse's desk and station, all of which are still currently covered with dust sheets. It's still very dark in here, still a gaslit room. If you move through there, the first section after that is a small operating theatre.
I would like to investigate.
Rummaging,
this case.
yes. I'd like to investigate the contents of the.
Get your hands off!
I just want to see what's here.
No, you just want to pocket what's here. I've seen you. in other
I'm
rooms.
going to return everything to its rightful place eventually.
Okay, does that include the book of French poetry?
You don't know I have that. I picked that up and immediately.
Oh, good God!
Can I make an
Wow.
investigation?
He is
Yes.
rather.
Fine.
Yes, let's have a bit of a nose around.
Yeah,
My
I'll investigate.
God!
Nope, no successes.
All of
No.
this.
Having a look around, Albrecht,
Really
you
suck
can
at
see
it.
that this is This would have been cutting edge about 20 years ago in terms of medical provision. This would be something that a skilled doctor could make use of quite comfortably. Similarly, Claire, you noticed exactly the same things. You both also notice that the lieutenant shudders slightly and appears to go into a fugue-like state. You remember, Claire, that he did the same thing downstairs in the book room. He appears to have done that again.
You okay, man? What's up with you?
I'll check if he's okay. I'd like to rummage in his, but no, I'm just kidding about that. He would actually kill me if I rummaged in his character.
Pulls out his cannonette.
Wow.
There's actually not that much I could take from him that'd be worthwhile. A gun is not a wise weapon for me.
So what you've got in here, you've got a surgical bed, a surgical table, I suppose. You've got a set of drawers containing surgical equipment, a small stove. Everything in here does appear to be covered over and out of use. So there's a lot of glassware as well, although more glassware as you get towards the other end of the room, where there appears to be a small chemist's shop, workshop area.
Would we be expecting to see something like this in a place like this, or is this unusual?
Generally not. This isn't the sort of thing one generally has in a stately home. This is unusual. Unless one were a practicing doctor and using this as a place from which to practice medicine, you wouldn't expect to see this outside of... in this area, this would qualify as a hospital almost.
Okay.
Very well appointed. I'm most impressed with some of the equipment that they have here. The chemist store. I would like to see what they have there. What sort of chemicals they have been dealing with.
There are some locked cupboards.
Oh.
No.
Oh, come on. They're locked.
Then there are some glass-fronted cupboards containing glassware within.
And I have lockpicks. So.
Come on, please.
I would like to pick the lock, please, Ben.
I would
go ahead.
So hard.
Now, lock picking is an agility roll, one assumes.
God, let's hope not.
Well, it's not going to be force, is it?
No.
No, it will be precision.
Yeah, that would be a precision one, I suppose.
But
so we can make it as a
precision, surely.
Stealth, maybe.
We could do it as a stealth roll or an agility roll.
No. He just rolls with the bonus.
Just rolls precision.
Yeah, there's no skill with it. It's just the item itself. It's the same.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Of course, you get the item bonus, don't you? So it's precision plus item bonus.
Yeah. And it is.
Nope.
Okay, I'm immediately getting the crowbar out for these cabinets that are locked.
Oh, young lady, you are just so impetuous.
Well, you suck at picking locks.
Are you going to let her crowbar open a chemical store?
No, I am not going to let you. There could be something explosive or acidic. Just take your time.
I'm going to just do it unless he physically tries to manhandle me.
No, I don't want to do that.
No, that's not a good idea. Let me do the math. Did I add the 2 that I would roll anyway, or does that get rolled into the thing? So I've got 5 strength. I get a +1 for the crowbar. So it's 6.
Roll 6
dice. 6
dice. Okay. 3 successes.
3 successes. You step up and you quite carefully crank open one of the doors, popping the lock open. Inside there are a great many bottles, vials, and sealed jars, all of which contain liquids, powders, ointments, all of which look to be quite old. The labels are very faded.
Absolutely fine by me.
Random drugs.
No, I don't put myself under the influence.
They faded to the degree that you can't really make out what anything is in here.
Can I make an investigation for what would be worth taking, or is this all just crap?
Without the light, it would very much be pot luck. So you couldn't really investigate it very easily.
How much could I Actually, you know what? I would like to open the other locked one before.
Much the same.
Okay.
You got enough successes on your first one
Yeah,
to be able to pop open the second lock just as easily. So it is 2 cupboards full of medicines and/or chemicals, but you can't tell which is which and what it is.
Okay.
So it's just as likely to be hydrochloric acid as it is to be opium.
Okay.
So I've had some very limited medical training. Is that useful?
I have a bit of limited medicine.
And I am a medical doctor, so maybe
yeah, we don't know how you got through medical school, though, do we?
Well, I guess I'll just say this now. It's kind of obvious. I think, Ben, you've said this to us. We're planning to, like, as we progress through the game, through whichever means that is, we don't know. We're going to be unlocking some of the rooms, aren't we? Like,
yeah,
we'll be able to use them. So I'm going to say out of character. I'm not going to steal anything because there's no point.
Yeah.
Well, but there's no point because we'll have access to this once we do the necessary actions to gain access to it. And I just dropped my phone.
That's fun.
So yeah, I'm not going to steal anything. The books were different.
Yeah,
because that was for.
No, that's absolutely fine.
If
I just closed them. I did break the locks though. I enjoyed doing that.
Oh, Lewis has just called you out, Alden. Limited medical training plus year 0 equals win.
Well, I have a little bit. I have, Austrian doctorate and that sort of thing. Can I identify maybe some laudanum or something like that is within
The best you can really do with this light, I mean, if you came back during the day, it would probably be much easier to do a catalogue because these labels are very, very faded. Have you ever seen a 20-year-old chemical label?
Yeah.
Or ones from a century ago? You can barely make out what they are, can you?
Yeah.
So if you came back in the light, yes, you could do a full inventory of this room without too much difficulty with your experience. But given the light you've got now, you've got about as much chance of getting laudanum as you have of getting
acid.
Lithium.
Plus, what's also worth pointing out is it's very rare for alchemical storage to last 20 years. Most of the time, the storage is for like a couple years at best. So most
a lot of this stuff is probably
denatured,
broken down, out of use. And you can see some of the bottles have got like crusts around the neck.
Can I just say out of character that it's nice to be playing a character that doesn't immediately imbibe chemicals that have just been found? It's a refreshing change of pace.
Well, I think I'll say for now I will stop with the looting because there's no point since we're gonna, as I said, we're gonna
back in the little surgery room though, Millicent. The lieutenant stance changes. He puts his hands on his hips in quite a feminine way, and he sort of looks at you, but his eyes are rolled right up in his head.
Oh God.
Okay.
And out of his mouth he says, "Hello, my love. What can I do for you?"
Are you okay?
I'm fine, love. I'm fine. Aside from being dead, I'm doing all right. What can I do to help you?
Albrecht passes me right.
What? You're quite alive and stood in front of me.
Oh no! Don't mind this. Don't mind this. I've just hopped into the lad's body, so we can have a chat, you and I.
But who are you?
I'm Bridget.
The nurse.
Nurse. Yes, they're right. I'm Nurse Evans. That's right. That's me. Hello, pleased to meet you. Who are you?
Millicent. What? Is Thomas okay? What are you doing to him?
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. He's just he's taken a little bit of a nap back in the back of his head, so that I could pop in here and be able to talk to you without being all spooky and ghostly and nonsense like that. Don't have much truck with that nonsense supernatural rubbish.
No, well, we have seen some odd things, and yes.
I know. I can imagine. It's a strange place, this house, isn't it? I bet old what's his name didn't even give you the lowdown on what you were going to see.
No, in fact, he told us nothing apart from the fact we wouldn't physically be harmed.
I see. So it was one of those, let's see what you can find out and see if it scares you off kind of things. He does like to put people through a challenge, doesn't he?
Can I just say,
Guess
out of
perhaps a
character,
test. Yeah.
this
You
is
can hear
more
the rest of you can hear a
disturbing.
conversation coming from the surgery room now.
This is actually more disturbing to me than anything we've at all seen. Because part of me thinks, holy shit, are all the ghosts sapient and they've just been fucking with us? Like, we'll just let them. And the nurse is the only one that goes, no, I'm not doing this. I'll just talk to you.
Maybe
Oh no, I'm being attacked. Oh no.
Oh, it's all a game. We've been dead for so long. We have to amuse ourselves.
Yeah, we have to do something.
Perhaps
No.
So anyway, right, yes.
call in.
So
Your ladyship, is everything?
you've come for a bit of a look around, have you?
We are here to have a look, yes, and experience something. He hasn't quite said what, but yes.
I imagine it's been quite the
experience
experience. I imagine you've probably seen the library.
No, we've not seen
No,
a library.
I-
There was some kind of writing office
I'd
downstairs,
like to
I believe.
Oh,
An
Alina, poor lamb.
armory, some kind of seance room.
And a limpy. That's right. Yes, sweet girls, the pair of them. You know, for their type.
Oh my
That
word.
type.
Wither.
Well, you know, the boys don't like to talk about it, but
Oh, I
they
think
were
it's friendly.
friends. Good friends.
I would like.
Okay.
I don't like this nurse. Just don't.
No time for that nonsense. Busy, busy, busy. You know how it is.
Plenty of work to do. Yes, indeed.
Always. I mean, you should see the injuries that people get in this line of work.
The injuries at this hall. I mean, it's just
Well,
a-
at the hall, or just in doing the business as it was. And obviously, sometimes we'd get in various beasties and creatures, and we'd have to do an autopsy or take a look at what makes them tick.
Have we come back through the curtain at this point?
Presumably, at this point, you've come back through and
Yeah, with
overheard
armfuls of bottles. Yeah,
But
just
are you,
cunt.
you suggesting? I mean, I guess Sir Stephen did allude to that you're some kind of you hunted these things in some way.
well, you can see me,
Investigated
can't
things.
you? You can tell I'm here.
Well, now I can't see you. I can see Thomas.
What's happened to the
but-
lieutenant's voice?
Yeah, he has gone. I think it is Scottish. Yeah.
It's not Scottish. It's,
Are you
I
sure?
look at you pensively. It's not Scottish.
But
I'm
you
quite
don't-
certain it's perhaps Geordie.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, boys, eh? What are they like?
Welsh.
Oh, Miss Evans. Yeah.
That's right. Yes, well done, boyo.
So you are now in. What is it like as a woman being in a man's body?
Wow.
Complicated question.
Well, I haven't tried walking
Analyse
yet, but I
that.
imagine that's a little odd.
Well, I think you should try. Could you try now for me? I would just like. This is a unique experience.
Oh my god. Okay.
You want me to just walk around?
Yeah,
That's good enough for you, is it? All right, I'm walking around.
Well,
And
it's
the lieutenant's body kind of marionettes around a little bit, very awkwardly.
Excuse me. I actually I left some money on the lieutenant. He's holding some money. Can I just quickly grab
Miss Agnes, really?
What? Can I actually lie? I'd actually like to try and convince
He's
the ghost.
still in here, you know. I know he's there. Don't
Yeah.
don't talk nonsense. I know your type. Before you remind me of young Tommy, you do. He was such a sweet
My
lad,
type.
but a bit of a chancer.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
I haven't seen
Miss-
any
Miss-
evidence of Tommy yet.
No, you won't do. Poor lad. He died long before that night.
That's
Can you
just
tell us
okay.
more
Okay.
about that night?
So one night.
What was that night?
Yeah, well, it was a terrible night. We'd had a big row. You see, there was Bob with the captain off doing whatever it was he was doing. He was going off on his own for long periods of time, just disappearing out into the woods, and no idea what was going on. And the rest of us, we were upset, see, because what with Tommy being dead, it drove a wedge between us. So there were like two whole sort of schools of thought on what we should be doing. There were those of us that thought, no, we stay home and we bolster our defences and we take care to go out as a group and we only do things together. And then there were those trigger happy fellas, and they were like, right, no, we're going out and we're going to go and do stuff. And off they went, chasing off after some story of a troll. And that was the last we saw of them. But to be fair, that was also the last we saw of each other.
How do we know that you are not some kind of alternate force? You claim to be.
Maleficent spirit. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, you could be anything. I don't know.
You're quite right. That's very true.
That's your name, Maleficent.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to make an observation roll to confirm.
Yeah, because
that.
for all we know, this is a fucking demon that's going. Oh yes, I'm the nurse.
Good
Oh.
shout. Thank you,
That's
Agnes.
Stevens. He might be a bad guy. Or not Stevens, whatever the old man is called.
I get 0
Observation.
successes.
Withers.
Just give me one moment. Let's see what mine is.
Wow. I rolled 8d6 and didn't get 1 6.
Ooh.
I got
3
1
ones.
success.
3 ones, by the way.
Oh, can I roll 2?
Yeah.
1.
I got 1 success. Yeah.
Oh, you.
It is hard. You need to be rolling like 8 die to get an assured success.
That was
It's not
It's like
assured,
Tofino
that's what I
did.
did. Yeah.
that was
Well, a
8.
better chance. It's like
Uh,
75%.
Still
of a
no.
chance.
Yeah. Never quite
Roughly.
reaches 100 though, does it?
Well, once you get to like 12, it's pretty much.
So those of you who did succeed, which I think
Challenge
is just
accepted.
Agnes,
Yeah, which makes sense.
it's weird hearing a sort of hollow Welsh lady's voice coming out of the mouth
Yeah.
of the lieutenant, who wasn't Welsh a minute ago, and his eyes aren't looking at you. All you can see is the whites of his eyes.
I'm-
They appear to
I
have
guess-
rolled back in his
Yeah.
head.
What I'm curious of, I'm less concerned with the ghost part. I don't care what the force is. What I'm trying to work out, and only 1 success is not going to help, but I'm trying to work out if this presence is pulling our leg a bit. Is it trying to lead us on? I don't think that's unfair to question. Since
It's not
the
an
first
unfair thing to question. It seems quite
Yeah.
genuine.
Okay,
You get quite a genuine, no-nonsense sort of vibe from it.
right.
What you might expect from a nurse, doctor, or dentist trying to tell you something.
Okay, so let's say that we take your word for it, that there was a wedge driven between you guys. There was 2 schools of thought: the idea of going it alone and sticking together, and whatever else. Here's my question to you: why was it that the death of Tommy pushed you to such a far degree? Because surely you guys must have been prepared for death. And yes,
We were prepared for
a
death. Of
young
course we were
man.
prepared for death. You don't go into a job like this not being a little bit prepared for death. But we never
Exactly.
thought it would be the lad. You know, we thought that fighting these monsters and such like, it'd be something like, you know, one of the fightery types, Mr. Redfield, or I don't know, maybe even the father who'd get like right into the thick of it against the monsters. But poor Tommy, we just weren't prepared for it, and everybody cared for the lad. He was a good lad, and once he passed, well, we just didn't know really how to deal with it. And instead of being there to lead us, Sir Stephen, the captain, he wasn't there.
What was he off doing? Did any of you ever find out what he was doing?
We never did find out what he was doing. He wasn't there that night when it all went down, though.
Strange.
So who was here? You said that some of you went out to hunt a troll, and some of you stayed here.
That's right, yes. So there was the professor, and he was down in the library.
Yeah.
And then there was Alina, and she was in the writing room.
Yeah.
And then there was Limpy, and she was in her room, or the seance room, one of those.
Yeah.
And I was just in my bedroom, and I heard the screams, so I came running in here, trying to find something I could use. I think I had some colloidal silver kicking around somewhere. I thought that might come in handy.
Okay, because
And before I got to it,
just to know, silver is useful against these creatures.
well, sometimes, yes. Sometimes a little bit of silver does a power of good. And I'd read somewhere that werewolves were particularly bad against silver.
Ah.
And I could hear howling and, like, screaming. So I came running in here to try and pick up something, anything that I might be able to use to help. Before I even made it to the chemist's, he was on me.
Who was the werewolf?
Yeah, gigantic, great big wolf man thing.
Oh.
To my heart, clean out to my body.
Oh.
It's the last thing I remember.
Thing that I suppose that would explain what we saw with Alina. She did look to be dragged off, didn't she? And then
it doesn't explain what Uptight and me saw in the Infirmary, though, which asked me a second question.
Ah, I see.
How many enemies did you make along the way?
But
well, generally, we only made enemies for a short while. See, we'd find out about how we could stop them and get out there and stop them. The point being that we'd get out there and stop them before we made enemies of them.
Come on, level with me here. You went out there and tried to stop things doing the things they wanted to do. And you don't think at any point a couple of them decided, well, we'll just put a stop to this.
Well, there may have been one or two.
Werewolf.
But they'd have to find out who we were and where we were. We were always very careful to cover our tracks and make sure we got the information first.
Miss Nurse, if I may make a supposition. So, those that went out the troll hunting, that would be Cade, the hunter.
That's right, yes.
And the father Samson?
Yes, he was quite keen to purge the heretics, as he liked to say.
And also the Mr. Redfield. Yes?
Mr. Redfield, yes.
And
he was very much driven to prove himself, was that man.
So, and you would say, I mean, you obviously were dead, but you might suppose that they died outside?
Well, I don't really know, see. I'm kind of stuck in here. I can't really do anything until folks come into this room.
So you are trapped in this single room. You cannot leave.
No, I'm stuck here. Because this is sort of my location, if you like.
Your locus of mortality.
Forever?
Well, no, not forever. See, what I remember about ghosts, now you're better off asking Alina. She's a little bit more clued up on this. Or even Olympe, because she used to talk to ghosts all the time. Clever girl. Funny accent.
Yeah.
Strange way of having her tea. No milk. Very odd.
Okay, black tea, making a note.
But yes, anyway, so they used to talk to ghosts a lot more than I did. But I did like a nice natter, so I probably figured out how to do talking when the rest of them maybe didn't. Or maybe I'm stuck in a different bit of my own personal history, if you like. See, I don't give a monkeys about this werewolf. I mean, he just finished me off. I'm just a bit peeved that I didn't get to finish the hunt I was doing.
Well, what hunt were you doing?
Well, there's lots of different beasties out there, see? And there was one of these beasties. Not only did he kill my fiancée, but the cheeky madam had the nerve to try and seduce him first.
Oh, that is
I
just
won't be
rude.
standing for that, I tell you. I wanted to get up to that lady's face and give her what for.
Yeah.
Cheeky mare.
And why didn't you?
Well,
you apart from being dead, obviously.
it wasn't our top priority as a mission at that point.
Yeah. So they just, and please correct me if I'm wrong, they just kind of allowed you guys to go off and do your own projects and...
Well, the
missions.
arrangement was research projects. We did our own thing. We would bring a group, come together as a group, and we'd sit down and we'd have a meeting, and we'd decide which one of them we were going to follow up on. That was the idea of the group, was that we'd be able to come together, bring our expertise together, and then once we had that, we could make a decision about what particular kind of threat we wanted to deal with. And we'd look at the urgency, and we'd look at the threat level and that kind of thing, and then we'd make an informed decision as a group. And if we were deadlocked, then Sir Stephen would sort of cast a final decision, if you like.
Makes sense.
Okay,
Starting to understand why you guys were brutally murdered.
Yeah, so a risk register for the supernatural. Okay, so risk
If
register.
you like, yeah. Yeah, that kind of thing.
So did anybody document these things? Are there?
There should be loads of books around, and there should be stuff. There was like a, not the little individual journals. I mean, they're lovely, but they're more of a history. They tell you what sort of stuff individually happened.
Yeah.
But there was the thing we called the ledger.
The ledger.
The ledger, great big book it was, nice big leather bound thing.
Did we
Where
see
was
this?
You haven't seen that book.
I haven't seen
No. I have a more worrying point. Please tell me all this wasn't stored in the library.
Oh, no, you wouldn't store the ledger in the library.
No.
No,
But
no.
all the information that wasn't all in the library.
Well, of course it was. Where else do you put information? You put it in the library.
Okay.
Don't tell her.
I'm gonna tell her. Yeah, the
Don't
library's burnt
tell her.
down. Yeah, somebody tried to cover their tracks. Fuck it, I don't give a shit.
Well, that's a bugger, isn't it?
It is a bugger. So the ledger would have been stored somewhere safe, presumably in some secure location.
Last place I saw the ledger was in the photo gallery.
Where is the
Excellent.
photo
I have a
gallery?
crowbar.
Not the
let's
photo gallery,
go.
the picture gallery.
Oh, where in the picture gallery? We were there and it wasn't disturbing at all.
Well, it was on a table. Last I saw it in the picture gallery.
Oh no, we're fucked. Someone made off with it. Great.
Or it underneath a sheet and we just didn't look very hard.
No, I doubt anybody would have made off with that. I
No.
don't think the Wolfman was here looking for paperwork and documentation. He seemed very much more fixated on the sort of removing of hearts and eating them, kind of.
Oh, so he ate them as well. Oh,
Well, I'm assuming that he ate them. I mean, he's a giant Wolfman. What's he going to do with a collection of hearts?
I don't know. He might make jewelry. Who knows?
This is what's confusing me, and it just keeps coming back to what attacked you guys was ostensibly just a big fuck off
Wolf.
stupid animal thing.
Well, it's not a stupid animal. No, see, what I understand about werewolves, not very much, but what I understand of them is that by day, they take the form of a normal man or woman.
Madam,
But
I
by
know what
night,
a werewolf is.
They become the shape of a gigantic wolf creature. So it's not a dumb animal, it's quite a canny beast. It's got the
Okay,
strength of an animal, but the mind of a man.
I will
Or a
repackage
woman.
my thought. I'll repackage it. If you claim to be so
She
good at
or
covering
he?
your tracks, how did this thing find you?
No
Which is
idea.
what-
See, we weren't.
yeah,
it wasn't even.
That's why
It
I'm
wasn't
worried.
even in the ledger.
Exactly. Do you see why I'm panicking here? Because there's a thing that found you guys, and you don't know how it found you, and it destroyed this place. And I recognize you're dead, and you're possessing a jackass. But I'm more concerned that you're incredibly passive and chipper about the fact that this thing just found you randomly. Considering
Well, I'm
also
not exactly chipper about it. I'm just kind of matter of fact about it. It's difficult to have emotions when you haven't got all the biological bits that help make them.
Oh, really? Oh, so the emotions are attached
God.
to the juicy, fleshy
Oh, my
parts.
I'm
Oh,
going to go to the
I have had this there. This is brilliant. Thank you so much for corroborating.
Right, I'm going.
Also, what
Wait.
have you done with yourself for the last 20 years? I mean, what have you been doing?
Not very much, really. I kind of just sort of float around in here, bemoaning
Wait.
the.
You just kind of
That's
bored.
probably why the others aren't very talkative.
Wait,
No, they're probably very, very bored.
We get stuck in this little loop of just playing over the last few minutes or hours of what we were doing. It's very unusual that anything interesting happens, but I've always been quite attentive to detail. So I see you folks come in, and I'm like, right, okay, this is an opportunity to have a nice chat with someone.
Yeah, I'm
I
very
don't suppose you
glad
could put the
to
kettle
hear.
on and make this chap a cup of tea, could you?
Oh, yeah, sure,
yeah,
sure.
I've given up. I'm leaving the room because I'm trying to have a conversation with this woman is infuriating.
I will attempt to make the English tea.
Oh my god, this is so frustrating.
Yeah, there isn't a kettle in here at the minute.
There is no kettle. I can.
Oh, right, he must have packed it all up. I don't know. Well, I'd say make it in a retort stand or something, but there probably won't be any tea leaves either. So never mind.
Well, the alembic and everything else is.
You just carry on with your
tea?
little adventure. I'm going to put this chap down here on the bed for a little lay down.
Okay. Before you do
I
that,
do apologise,
I have
but,
to shot. Maybe
Oh, so
you could
You
do
have
something.
indeed, haven't you? Yeah, let's have a look at that. One moment.
Thank you.
Let me see what I can do.
Well, we have a nurse. May as well.
Yeah.
You could
a nurse
you can
that
direct
can't
one of
use-
us.
Yeah, a nurse that can't use their higher motor functions.
Ah, no, this is more fun.
Right.
I'm loving Puppet Pete, the nurse.
She puppets the body of the lieutenant and gets quite delicate down in there and manages to stitch up some of the wound.
My shoulder,
Oh, wow.
madam.
Well, what's funny is that what Pete isn't actually like Pete's body isn't actually speaking. She's doing like a really bad lip sync, so the mouth's just opening and shutting. while she's... Yeah, it's completely just like.
Before you go, I don't suppose you've had the chance to hijack many bodies, but is there anything we need to do to him once you leave him?
I'll be honest with you, we probably want a bit of a lay down. They do say possession takes it out of you, but yeah, brandy would probably, that brandy would go down. Maybe we could do the brandy before I get out.
I believe one of us has a flask.
I think this chap's probably going to need a bit of a lay down for a while.
I have brandy and maybe a cigar. Maybe you would like one. Do you smoke when you're alive?
No, filthy habit.
Oh, really? I don't see anything wrong with it. It's very good for you. The latest medical science in Europe says that smoking will extend your lifespan by at least 50 years.
That'd be quite impressive. I've not heard that. I'm a little out of touch with the latest in medicine, to be honest.
That's because you're dead.
I expect that's got something to do. Now, who's got this flask you were talking about?
I'm gone.
That would be me. Yeah.
Yep, I'm gone.
Okay, at this point, she kind of lays the body down. Once you get up, Albert, she lays the body down on the surgical table. And there's a little bit of a shudder from the lieutenant. And his breathing regulates. And a translucent blue form rises up out of his chest. And you can see it's the lady from the portrait that you saw downstairs with a crisp white starched apron with a big hole punched in near the top of it. Rib bones sort of popping out where the heart's been torn from the chest. But the apron itself and the blouse around it are all crisp and starch and white. It's got a very high collar with a neat little bow at the throat. But she fades very, very quickly.
Thank you. Auf Wiedersehen.
And I think at that point we might take a quick nature break, as Pete likes to call them. He means go for a wee-wee.
Okay.
I think I prefer
so if anybody wants to go for a quick wee-wee, I will ask.
No, I'm going to take a nature break.
You're going to take a nature break. Are you going to
go
step outside and go and hug a tree?
Hug a bear.
So if Sofino, you could freeze us for a couple of minutes. We'll be back in 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. And we will announce the winner of last week's competition when we do.
It's not
dun, dun, dun. It's not
me either.
None of us.
So stay right with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Always a bridesmaid.
Never a bride. See you in a minute.
Hey, a super nature break.
Yeah.
Right, we're off.
Okay, we're back from our nature break or our super nature break, depending on how you want to look at it.
Spoopy.
Everybody was just like racking their brains to try and work out what's going on, which is fantastic. I love that. They're all accusing me of updating my plot so that I've changed it to match their better ideas. And they're absolutely right. So we said just before the break that we were going to announce the winner of last week's prize, which was 2 sets of dice, a regular one and a mystery one, and a dice rolling tray from our lovely sponsor, Thornless Rose.
Pete,
and I am just loading up
spirit.
The list, which I believe we have 6 and hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries. So I am going to ask Claire this week to roll a d7. Just type into
yeah, I'm on it.
/ roll.
Should be
no,
/
roll.
/ roll.
1d7. No,
other
slash.
Building up the tension.
Yeah.
Come on, viewers.
Woohoo!
Number 3, which means that our winner is Not Norman Smith. Sorry, Norman Smith.
Oh.
Not Dumpstat Int. Sorry,
Oh.
Dumpstat Int. But you did win something from us quite recently. Oh, but it's a good one. It's Kvasak123 with the quote, "Reality is shaped by the forces that destroy it."
Nice. Maybe apt for this as well.
What's that from?
The Kyoto Man, D. Harlan Wilson.
Wow.
That's nice. That's a really good quote. I like that.
That's a good quote.
So congratulations. We will endeavour to get in touch with you, or you can get in touch with us through YouTube or Discord, and we will arrange getting your prize to you. Next week, there is another prize available. Same again. It's a dice rolling tray, a set of mystery dice, and a set of regular pretty dice from Thornless Rose. And there's no picture to flash at you today because Pete's off on a jolly, so he can't be my beautiful assistant and wave it at you.
We can mine
And
Or even the dice.
what do we need? We need a competition. We're not a competition. We need an entry criterion for this week. We've done spooky creatures. We've done spooky quotes.
Yeah. Spooky.
Links to spooky artists. That's what we want to see. We want to see a link to a spooky artist. Let's
Brilliant.
get some
Yeah.
Artist.
Yeah.
spooky artists on the YouTube. So
And-
to win next week, all you need to do is go onto the YouTube version of this show, which will be available in a day or so on YouTube on the Garblag Games channel, and drop us a link to your favourite spooky artist that you think needs to get a little bit more love and coverage, and then everybody else will be able to see them as well, and we get to look at some inspiring spooky artwork to get us thinking. So
Yeah. That's really
next
good.
week,
Credit the
spooky
artist,
artwork.
So
Yeah.
don't just upload the art.
Absolutely,
No,
yeah,
they've got,
yeah,
they've got
credit
the
the
link
artist.
in,
Yeah,
so,
link.
you know.
Want to see a link to the
Just
art,
specifically
so that we
double
can get
make
the
sure.
artists credited. Sorry, I spent a lot of time on Twitter in the last couple of
No,
weeks.
no,
I'm
it's
getting used to
absolutely
seeing
fine,
art
just-
share threads. But yes,
Yeah.
definitely credit the artist, whoever
Please
they might
do.
be. And then we will pick a winner next week from your list of spooky art
And then
shares.
maybe we will show the spookiest image as well.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Spookiest
Mm.
image.
Well, spoopy is like cute ghosts, isn't it?
But yeah, but
I've
it
never
might
been
be
entirely sure
spooky,
where
spooky.
spoopy and
Oh,
Probably should
spooky.
ask them as well.
I think it's when
would be a
so
wise
spooky
decision.
it makes you
Yeah.
poop.
Oh,
Spooky
yeah,
a
that'd be.
word.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No.
Not a word.
People, spoopy's better though because
It's an
better.
internet word. You know how those things work.
Come
So
on, it's
language
so
is
much
fluid,
better
guys.
I don't know how normal words work. So.
though. No, I like spoopy. It's
Oh, I
better.
can into words.
I've got all the best words. Anyway,
Viridian is a good word. So,
So
is
we were-
twinkle.
Playing a game.
We were. And that game is the game we are getting back to now. The Haunted Host of Hoxne Hall. When last we met our intrepid band of merry adventurers, Agnes had just walked out of the infirmary because she was fed up with Welsh ghost bullshit.
Bored.
I wasn't bored. It's just
The rest of them had just asked the ghost to puppet the body of Lieutenant Pete.
Thomas, something like that.
Thomas Cranthorne.
Thomas.
He wanted to call him Lieutenant Pete.
There we go.
Now, Nick Zeke, you absolutely can self-promote with Link. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, self-promotion would probably be the best way to
Self-promotion is even better than
go about it. Yes, we'd
someone
probably
else's
prefer
art.
that. Yeah.
So, yes, Welsh Ghost had just left the body of Lieutenant Cranthorne and floated off and vanished, leaving him sleeping deeply on the medical bed with the rest of you sort of stood around.
So, you think we should just leave him here?
Not on his own. Well, I suppose no harm can come to him, but it doesn't seem like the right thing to do.
Well, I mean, the Welsh dead lady will still be here, so he's not on his
That's-
own.
There is
That's
a
true.
wheelchair in the room if you wish to plop him
Yeah.
into that and push him around.
I would
with you.
feel
There's stairs
Hey.
though, isn't there?
maybe more
There's no
comfortable.
ramps in this building, is there?
There are
Well, we
no-
can take
no
him as far as we
ramps,
can
no.
take him.
Well, yeah, but at that point we'll be at the top of the stairs. I'm not here. This is Nice's. We'll
Yeah,
be at the
You
top
could
of the stairs.
200% ramp him.
Shush, you're not here. You left.
Okay, I put him on the wheelchair. We'll see how fun
Doctor,
that
so you accept
Yeah.
the fact that the spirit of the deceased lady is present and will stand watch over.
This
the
is
lieutenant.
psychometry. Have you not heard of the science? It is the recording of the ego within the fabric of a
Yeah.
building, which then it can be replayed by the conscious mind. It's not a ghost, not like a supernatural thing. It's still a vision, but an illusion. It is a memory.
Your science verges on
Hyper-realistic.
the supernatural.
No, it seeks to
No,
explain
this
the supernatural.
bullshit.
It's all
at the time.
perfectly natural. Okay,
Meanwhile,
let's
in the
put
corridor outside, Agnes.
the
Yeah.
sleeping man in the wheelchair and
Yeah.
will wheel him away.
Oh god.
Just too many V's.
Right. So mental map, because I can't see the actual map.
There is no map.
Where is there no map?
It's theatre of the mind, mate.
Oh, lovely. That's my best theatre. It's my only theatre.
I did want to do a map, but
I keep forgetting
it
we
would-
can tell Nye he's missing out on so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like you didn't see the full FMV of the.
You are
Oh,
two
Empty
floors up.
Possessions. It was
A
visualization.
entrance.
Right.
so
Amazing.
good, Ben. I loved it.
Can I? This is a weird one. Okay.
Abseil
Would-
down the
would-
outside of the building.
No. The question I was going to ask was, quick question. Was it a photography room, or did you just course correct and it was the gallery that
Yeah, it's
had
the gallery. I
ledger?
meant the gallery. Sorry.
That's fine.
I was thinking pictures and cross-pollinating it with my lessons from the week.
While they are getting fixed up by Ghost Nurse, which is an awesome sounding TV show, it's not. Could I quickly go to the room and just see if it's there, just for peace of mind that we weren't stupid and
Yeah,
left
absolutely.
it?
So you nip back down the stairs
Yeah,
and go through the room a little bit more thoroughly, whipping a couple of dust covers off of tables. There is definitely no big leather-bound book in there.
Oh, the werewolf couldn't have taken it. I wouldn't have
You
known
can
the time.
make an investigation check.
Oh, Jesus, my worst one.
Well, if you will keep running off.
I'm
hear
a
a
talker, and there's nothing to talk
Dead.
here. The one thing that was to talk here, I did my job. I checked if it was lying. It wasn't lying. So my job is done. Like,
Could have still talked to her.
I did, and she gave us the information, and then Agnes moved on because that's how Agnes is.
A storm of doing stuff. Boom! Thing happens. I'm gone.
2 successes for investigation.
2 successes for investigation. So as you're whipping around the room, pulling off dust covers and looking for this big leather-bound book, you step on a floorboard and it creaks rather more than you would have thought it would. I mean, creaky floorboard's not too unusual, but this one's slightly loose. And it would certainly take the senses of someone of your caliber to be able to identify that. This is something that would take someone who was good at hiding but also good at unhiding things
Yes. Okay.
to be able to identify. There is a loose floorboard.
I would like to uncover the loose floorboard.
As luck would have it, you have a crowbar as well, so
I
it's a very
do.
easy thing for
And
you to do.
Yeah, and I'm quite a strong young lady or lass.
So
do I
prying
have
up the floorboard, you can
okay.
see there is a cloth-wrapped bundle. Looks to be
Okay.
a linen bundle,
Awesome.
about 2 feet high by, maybe not 2 feet, 1.5 feet high by a foot wide,
Okay.
probably about 8 inches thick.
That sounds like a big book.
I'd like to. Is it roughly the same size as the book I picked up from the library?
No, it's way bigger.
Way bigger.
The book from the library is like a
book. Yeah.
large-sized hardback book.
Okay.
This is more like a prop from a fantasy novel.
Okay. Yeah. Like
The proper
like- no,
chunky.
I understand what you're saying. Like more for design than it is for practicality. Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to pick it up and open it, and I will sit down on the chair that is there. I won't even bother taking the dust cover off. I don't give a shit. And just flick through. Yeah.
You sit back into the chair. Chair's quite comfortable.
Oh, how nice.
And you've got this ledger. It appears to be written in some kind of cipher.
Thicker
There
as
is-
much. Yeah.
Definitely a code to it.
Yep.
There is a pattern to the code. You can't make out exactly what it is, but it looks to you as though there are tallies of entries. There are specific entry types representing something.
Yep.
Then there are a number of tallies next to it in a column.
Yeah.
Then there's a column marked with a red cross on some of them and a black circle on others.
Okay. Very smart. I will rescind some of my complaints. These people are quite smart, keeping their secret information.
So there is a ledger, but it appears to be written in code. Knowing what you know, you could assume and infer that the first entry is probably something to do with a creature description location. The second one would be votes collected in favor. And then the third or fourth column would be successful or unsuccessful jobs, but you couldn't tell which is which.
Okay. The pillow that I picked up, does that have a pillowcase, or was that taken off?
The pillowcase was taken off, yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well, I'm just going to drop the pillow. I don't give a shit about that anymore. I obviously can't sequester the ledger on my person because it's ridiculously big. So I'm going to swing it under my arm.
Try at least.
No, I'm not going. As I said, I'm not going to be silly about this. Agnes is quite headstrong, but she's not stupid. She knows that what she can and cannot get away with. So I will just tuck it under my shoulder, and I will leave the room and return to them, presumably having Fisk. Oh, hello, hi.
There, you're internet famous now.
Wow.
Will you go away and leave me alone again?
Oh.
Do we get more viewers? We had a cat.
Yeah, the numbers just doubled instantly.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Lovely.
I believe that's how the internet works.
So I will return to them, whatever state they're in is up to.
I like to think we're at the top of the stairs, just with the wheelchair, kind of going.
If only someone had told us this was a terrible.
Well, this horseshoe does continue round to the other side.
Oh well, why don't we just go there? I mean, I was going to push him down the stairs, but that idea is much better.
So as you push him round, the corridor continues round. There's a small cupboard. It looks like it may have been a linens cupboard or a cleaning cupboard. There's nothing in there at the minute.
Okay. Can I tap the back of it for like secret entrances or something?
Yes, you can.
Because I'm very suspicious.
Which is the logic one?
That would be.
That's investigation, isn't it?
It would be have to be investigation, yeah. Because there's only 3 logic skills, which is like learning, investigation.
So many dice, 1 success.
Yes, there is a hollow patch behind this cupboard.
Tap, 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 tap. So, okay. Can I find a button or a loose panel or anything?
There is a loose panel, and when you pry it free, there is a staircase behind the panel, but it's got a portcullis in front of it and is chained shut. Not a portcullis, a metal gate. Portcullis would be a bit extreme.
Yeah, they had a lot of money.
Hardcore. The hardcore secret entrance. It's chained shut, as in there's a lock on it, or
yes, there is a padlock and a heavy chain.
I would like to attempt to open the lock.
Okay, go on then.
All the while muttering under my breath. It's just precision plus tools.
It's precision plus the tool.
Yeah, well, your precision and the tool score, which is just a 2 or is it a 1 for lockpicks?
1.
Oh, it's only 1. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's crap. I have failed.
It's a very
Where's
difficult
Agnes?
lock, this one.
Agnes!
Yeah. Hey, what? Oh, wow. Okay.
I found something fun for you. Tell you what, I will swap this fun thing that you can break for that large book that you're carrying.
Yeah, it's going to cost you.
How much? 10 marks?
No, I'm not taking any of that. Okay.
I have a florin.
I'll give you the book.
Yeah.
But you owe me one.
No.
Then you don't get the book. And we'll leave this locked.
You can resist a lock? Oh.
can. Yes, I can.
Wow, this is fascinating. Please tell me how it feels.
Also,
It appears to
I'm
be a
not,
spiral staircase behind this.
I do feel like point
panel.
out, sure, I'm strong, but I'm not like a machine. Like, this is heavy chains. I'm not going to be able to tear it off.
You just need to break the lock, not the
I
chain.
know, but the crowbar is not really designed for that, really. It's more for leveraging stuff in. I don't really have a leverage here. It's just a lock and a chain.
You
I
spent a
could
lot of
smash
time
the chain,
thinking about this.
but
Probably shoot it if we need to.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, I would like to be in a different room if there was going to be gunfire.
It'll ricochet and somehow still hit.
Somehow.
Oh, come on!
I'll go back to the nurse again. Hello! Other arms this time.
well, she possesses you, and you do the surgery on yourself.
That works. That's fine.
I mean, presumably there is a key to this
Yeah,
padlock
somewhere.
Of
that
course.
someone has.
Oh, where's the fun in that?
That
I
works. Fair
know.
point.
Just to check, Ben, I am right. I can't break locks. Like it is
try.
pretty specific. It has to be.
Yeah, the crowbar's not
an
gonna.
enclosed. No,
Yeah, the crowbar's not gonna open this.
it has to be an enclosed thing that I'm popping the crowbar under. I think.
And
I
you're not
remember
good
that.
enough with the lockpicks yet, it would appear.
No, apparently not.
Oh, I'm not picking up lockpicks, so it's fine.
No, I'm not giving you the lockpicks.
Yeah, and I'm not giving you the book.
That's fine. You can keep carrying the big book.
I can.
Yeah.
Very strong for my age.
Yeah, you are surprisingly, yes, pugnacious.
Yeah, you need to be.
Where do you want to go from there? Reverend and Millicent, these two are having a row in a cupboard. Do you want to like stand there and watch them argue, or keep
What
pushing
are
the
the
lieutenant round in
alternatives?
his wheelchair?
Should we take the lieutenant for a walk? Or,
Yes, let's
not-
carry on while these
Yeah.
two.
A roll. No, a walk would be.
Yeah, let's.
It'd be
brush over
nicer,
that.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
As you push him round, you come around the far side of the room. So where you had the corridor with the bedrooms on the other side, on this side you've got some other bedrooms, although these ones do appear to be almost a mirror image of the ones on the other side. All in all, you've made 8 bedrooms so far, 4 on that side, 4 on this side. And then opposite one of the bedrooms, there is another room with a cross outside denoting that it is a chapel and a little sign saying chapel.
Oh boy, I'm not allowed in there.
Look in there then.
You're not. Yeah.
Are you calling
In
up
real life as
during
well.
air, or are you just wandering off on your own? Where's the other two gone? Oh,
Let's head to the chapel.
I'm going to stick my head out the cupboard going, where are you going?
There's a chapel down here or something.
Oh, excellent. So we get to see a dead priest. This should be fun.
Or
Perhaps you should go first, Reverend.
Yes. Of course.
Brave Reverend Huntington Greaves ran away.
You're a man of the class. This will be another man of the class. This should be most interesting. He can tell you about the next life. Think about the opportunities this presents.
Uptight. I can go in first if you want.
No, I accept the responsibility, but
Would it help if we sing a hymn?
Not at all. But I feel I must, prior to entering, I feel your, if you'll forgive me, your callousness has reminded me of my own callousness. And
You're talking to Agnes, yeah?
I'm talking to you, Doctor. But it's reminded me.
I have no calluses. No, I have sanded my feet just this morning.
It's an Austrian thing.
What a delightful image that is.
Standing my feet.
Lady Millicent, I must apologise for the callous way in which upon our meeting, I described your husband's assault by a creature from beyond as being with the justification of God moves in mysterious ways. I just wanted to apologise. That would have sounded crass.
He's got Christian guilt, you see.
No, this is repentance. I have heard of
Yeah.
this. It's most interesting. Do you feel better now that you have said these things?
And
Yes.
he
Did
turns
you
away.
did you feel that was a blocking for you to kind of enter the chapel?
No, I just was reminded, as I stated, of my own callousness by the callousness of the others.
Listen,
That's the closest he's going to get to telling anyone off for now. I think.
Listen,
Opening the door to the chapel, it's actually quite a pleasant room. There's still a lingering hint of incense in the air. The room is softly carpeted.
I remember
With a-
this smell from university. Yes.
But this leads you
yeah,
into the
exactly.
side of the chapel rather than into the front. There is a
okay.
stained glass window up on the far wall, which is at the outside edge of the house, the front of the house. So somewhere out the front there is a stained glass window that shines inwards towards where you can see a small lectern and a small altar. I mean, it's not a particularly extravagant affair. There are some pillar candles, no candles in them at present, and rather than pews there are chairs.
Any clues as to the denomination?
It does appear to be Anglican,
Few.
from what you can tell.
It's the inverted cross and the goat's horns that gives it away.
Yes, I believe.
I turn to the Reverend. Reverend,
Sadness.
could you please do some rummaging in this? I have been unfair to you. I will not rummage in here, but I need you to rummage for me and then give me the things you find. Okay?
Agnes, I'm very happy to loot the room for you.
Well, we'll go half. You want to go half?
Maybe in exchange for the ledger.
We're
It
not
depends what
here
you
to
find.
rummage and loot.
No, so I mean, find essential clues. That means that we
Yeah.
can lay your fellow priest to rest. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
How
what I
are
meant.
we meant to find anything out? If
Sorry, my English is not so good sometimes.
No, nor is mine.
Yes, because she is from Wales, I think it was. Yes.
As you
I
walk
Turn
into the
to you
room,
venomously.
bickering and bantering with one another,
We could be shopping, Ben. It could be worse.
a
We
shape starts to coalesce
Oh boy.
at the altar. This one is probably the slowest manifestation that you've seen so far.
We're all pushing the Reverend to the front.
Yeah.
All yours.
Isn't this Reverend the slightly larger chap?
Yeah, that's-
Yes, he is a bull-necked, red-faced man. Father Sampson is bald-headed, wearing a plain black shirt with a white collar. And at first, his ghost just seems to float motionlessly by the altar. And then he takes notice, or seems to take notice, of Agnes and Millicent. And his
Ooh.
eyes
One of those
bulge,
kind of-
starting
Yeah,
out
that's
of his
not
head.
Oh,
And he
God.
raises up
Oh.
the Bible in his hand, and the cross around his neck, opens his mouth, and his mouth just widens into a huge tunnel-like thing, and the whole apparition races at you.
Is it
Could you make
normal?
fear checks, please?
Everyone.
Everybody.
Yes, everybody. Agnes and Millicent, you will need 2 successes to pass this one.
Oh, great. He's a fucking sexist. That's good. to know.
So with fear, we can. It's empathy or logic. It's yeah.
Yeah, we
Yes,
yeah.
empathy
But-
or logic are the rolls.
But mine
you
are
need to make.
equal, so. God, I'm gonna fail this so bad.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
Only one success.
Nerves of
Damn it.
steel from
Lady
Millicent
Millicent
there.
with the nerves of steel, yeah.
Only one success.
A failure.
Oh, Oh, Agnes.
Safino's terrified.
I'm actually going to use my reroll on this occasion.
Faith
Okay.
has
Oh,
been...
wait. Didn't you give me like a divine blessing or something?
I did, and that carries across sessions. It runs until the end of the
Okay.
mystery, so you can use it. Do you get a reroll? Or is it an additional die? I can't.
It's
I
an
think
additional die.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to just roll 1d6, and if it's not a 6, then
Well,
No,
you
no,
needed to get 2 successes. How many have you
I've
got?
already got 1.
Okay, yes, you can roll.
I'm not going to get it. I'm not.
No pressure.
I didn't get it. I got a 5.
Oh,
Very honest of you.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
gonna
no
make.
advantage lying.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, I know. Thank you. It's just yeah.
My reroll is. I have a success for my reroll.
Yay.
Thank you
Yay.
to. I should thank who got me the reroll.
That was right back at the beginning, I think.
Yes.
So-
Nick
Nick
who's been
no.
Thank
paid
you
back
so much.
through the medium of winning that competition using
Yeah.
Just
an
for
alternate
context.
identity.
Mm.
Right,
just
so,
for context, the
Who
least
would think of
morally
such a thing?
Safino and Nye, then you need to. Oh no, Safino, you don't. You made it on
just
your reroll.
me. It's
Yeah.
the
Just
morally
nine.
compromised one.
Flee, freeze, faint, or attack.
Oh, please faint. I would laugh so hard.
I would no. Come on. What would I do in this situation? I
Attack
would
the
flee.
ghost. No.
Yeah.
I think
No,
fleeing
no,
would
no.
definitely in
No,
character
no.
for Agnes there.
I would flee. Yeah, I would get away from the situation.
So you literally cheese it out
Yeah.
of the chapel at best speed.
What's the reuse sound effect?
And you flee the room in abject terror, racing out there, down the stairs, and bursting into the other side of the ballroom just to get away from
Yeah.
the horror of this ghost,
Yeah.
which has raced at you, almost glowing red in the face. Millicent, it still stood there, shouting at you, but not making a single sound as it does.
Wow.
It's one vein throbbing in its head, eyes bulging out, flecks of ghostly spittle flying out of its mouth as it waves its book at you and denounces you soundly, just utterly silently.
Millicent, could,
Is it okay?
can we try and explain? Could you move around it and see if it tracks you? I don't know whether it's seeing
I
you
like
or something before.
I like the headcanon that Millicent is very used to large, portly men being angry. And just being like, oh my god, yeah, I'm just whatever.
Oh, Father, do shut up.
Are you
Oh
all
my,
right?
oh my word.
I say. So if you could just move around and see if he rotates or something, I'm just curious.
It follows me.
It does, yes.
Oh.
It tracks you and follows you.
Okay.
And then appears to completely lose any interest in you whatsoever. And he goes and stands off to one side and huddles for a moment with nobody.
And I approach and open the Bible, Mark chapter 5, verse 8.
Ooh.
And I say, "Come out of this man, you unclean spirit." And probably the wrong thing to say, but I'm gonna see what
Well,
happens.
that sounds more like he was being possessed. So I'd actually love it if another ghost
out of his
jumped out. Yeah.
Ectoplasm on ectoplasm.
How did you know I was possessing a ghost?
Father Samson flings his arm
Inception of
out
possession.
to one side. And then his arm just shoots off and disappears.
What,
And
just-
a gout
But he
of
stays
ghostly
there.
blood sprays out of
Oh, there we go.
And
Okay.
I then
I think we now know.
He
Yep.
flings his other arm out the other way.
Oh.
And then that too flies off, and there's another jet of ghostly blood. Then he leaps up into the air, and then one by one his legs are also go racing off from his body until he's just a torso with an angry, shouty head.
I think I'm gonna have to make a roll for that. That was distressing.
What I like is at the start of this,
Personal
I don't know
roll.
if we got it on the pilot, but Ben was like, "Now look, this is not going to be a violent fight.
No, it's going to be
No,
lovely,
it's gonna be
little bit psychological.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah.
This
You're,
is
you're probably going to fight like a Nixie, a little water
No
spirit that
shooting.
yeah,
no
that
violence.
just spits water at you, and you're like, oh, you're up against werewolves and trolls and angry
Limb renders.
practitioners. and nurses from Wales.
Yeah.
He was
Welsh.
nice, though.
Welsh
Welsh
nurses.
nurses. The worst.
I was a little unfair on her.
You were.
Agnes
Yeah.
doesn't recognize that. Yeah, Agnes doesn't recognize that. Now recognizes that.
I'm a
Agnes.
yeah. That's
Ah,
quite
thanks,
horrible.
Beowulf. I do like to see when I get my timing just right. Apparently, according to one of the Twitch viewers, they're listening to the Penny Dreadful soundtrack as they're watching, and just as the ghostly priest manifested, there was a ghostly growl on the soundtrack they were listening to.
Very nice.
Very good. Well done.
I'm very
Nice.
I'm flattered that they're actually listening to a soundtrack while they're watching us play this.
I think it's what we need. We need. Like,
So did
theme
you
music.
make a fear save then, Safino?
I didn't. I'm gonna roll one now.
Okay.
Your pants.
Thanks.
I'm just going to turn to Lady Millicent to go. No, I don't think he is okay.
I rolled a
Is
success.
this is it a priest thing?
The
Um,
last thing you
arm
see
shooting
of
off
the
The
ghost
limbs
is
shooting
his
off? I
head.
don't know.
being bitten clean off of his body. You don't see what does the biting, but you can see that there are tooth marks around the upper part of the torso. Very large tooth marks indeed.
Priests are like lizards. Like if they get caught by something, they can drop a limb off and then run away.
That's not true, Miss Agnes.
I'm not in the room.
I'm gonna
Agnes is
say you
already
were in
cheating.
character, and that was me talking with a bit of sick in my mouth.
Oh no! Oh no!
Needless to say, whatever happened to the father, it was brief, brutal, and bloody.
Teeth
Much
marks.
like
Probably the werewolf
him.
again, then,
Definitely
Not
not
that
the werewolf.
big. Might be a
It's not that
giant
no? No?
or
Okay.
a troll.
Well, as we were discussing, if the two of them went off to go troll hunting.
Ah.
yeah.
Three.
Oh, 3. Oh yes, of course.
Do we
Yes,
have
the
experience?
priest was outside, wasn't he?
Has anybody
Yes,
encountered
Father.
a troll?
No, it's a fairy tale. Don't be silly.
What could accomplish such horror as we witnessed?
Horses and chains attached to the limbs. That could do it.
I mean, my husband was dragged off by something large, but I don't know. I mean, I didn't see what it was, so.
Albeck is more disturbing when he tries to be logical,
Yeah,
honestly.
for sure.
Yes, no, it's quite logical. There were just some horses, he was brutally tortured and then torn apart,
Miss,
and then
Yep.
somebody chopped his head off. And you're
Some
like,
sort of bear trap with
Yeah.
like teeth in for the planes. Yeah.
but wait,
God.
Lady Millicent, what can you recall of the creature that dragged your husband
I
away?
didn't see it. I mean, it was large. It dragged my husband off. It didn't seem bothered by me, but that might have been because I was going in the other direction, away from
Your
that.
husband.
But
yeah.
yes, I mean, I didn't turn back to see. Really, it was quite distressing. Of course, wasn't at all running away in the other direction with no care for him.
Ah,
Detect
Okay.
subtext.
I don't think that's subtext. I think that's just text.
Text detected.
that's context, pretty much.
Okay, I would like to look in the lectern and see maybe if there's any more clues that would help us.
Is there a
The
is there a
lectern
Bible?
is bare. There is a Bible. It's not on the lectern. It's on a table nearby. Quite small. Leather bound. Get off my wires.
Sorry.
Sorry, my cat is trying to chew the wires now.
We're all in the same room, people on Twitch.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
It's just-
Yeah.
He wants
Well,
to be
I'm in
made
the
into a
cupboard.
high-speed
Yeah.
slipper.
Yeah, I'm in Ben's attic. Just
I thought you were under the stairs.
With the
it
spiders.
changes. It depends on what's going on.
Safino's cupboard is my attic.
Hmm,
Fino has a big cupboard.
I do. I do. Although right now I'm in the same room as Alden. You can tell by
Hey.
the
Just opposite sides, yeah.
tell by the
Yeah. We have to angle the camera very carefully.
So
Moving swiftly back to our little story that we're in the process of telling.
Sorry.
A shaft of light breaks through the stained glass window, illuminating the wall behind the lectern with an image of a saint that you're not entirely sure you can identify easily.
I say, Reverend, who is that?
It's not a saint I can readily identify.
I think it's Saint Saint Germain, the saint of troll hunting. Oh, interesting.
Can I make some kind of check to see if I can?
Yeah, you can make some kind of check.
Knowledge, religion.
Learning, yeah, probably be a learning.
It's definitely a learning one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
read about it. In
Any
You can make a learning
situational
check.
bonus for it being?
Yeah, you can have
Religious.
you can have a +1
It'd be a
dice
+1,
for
yeah,
being
'cause
all
it's a-
priestly.
Cool,
It's
okay.
advantage, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just that's what it's called. Yeah.
One success.
There you go. Yes, actually, you do recognise Saint Trudput, who's the patron saint of builders.
Oh, that's adorable. I love it.
Trudput.
Yeah.
Trudput.
Trud-
He's real.
Yeah, I know.
No, I know he's real.
you'd look
It's
for this
adorable. Though.
One of my personal favourites.
Is that two? How many T's is in Trudput?
Just one at the beginning and one at the end.
One at the end. Okay, just checking.
TRUDPRT.
Patron saint of builders.
Yep.
Be out by Tuesday.
Did you say it was shining on a wall or something?
It shines on the wall behind the altar. It looks like if it weren't dawn light, and maybe if you came in here in mid-morning, that light would be shining directly on the lectern to give you almost a spotlight on whoever was there.
Architecture is very clever.
Dawn has broken. You've been inside the building for several hours. Time has shot past without you really noticing. Agnes, you're in the ballroom.
Yes, I'm probably back
Some
to
light
wall.
is starting to creep
Yeah.
in through
Flick
the curtains,
down.
which are drawn, but there are a few shafts of sunlight starting to cut their way through as dawn is breaking.
I'm probably breathing heavily, clutching the book.
There do seem to be a few more rooms beyond the ballroom.
I think I'm probably just going to sit where I am and just try and center myself. Just try and
Breathe.
get back to basically, yeah. Just
But by your best estimations, from the pictures that you've seen and the information you were given by the nurse,
That would
you
be
have
everywhere.
seen all of the ghosts of Hoxne Hall.
So
I-
Tommy, we know, was already dead,
yeah.
but we have now seen, although we don't know about it, Ramsey. We've
Yeah,
met
what-
Nurse Bridget.
Yes.
We've seen Cade be crushed
Yes.
by probably a troll. We've seen
Yes.
Olympe be eaten by a werewolf.
By the werewolf, yes.
We've seen Samson be ripped apart by horses.
Yeah.
Redfield be crushed by a falling tree, utterly natural,
Yeah.
very normal. And Miss Sherry be torn at and dragged off by something.
By the werewolf, yeah.
Still kind of curious where she was dragged off to.
So we've kind of, I think we might as well say,
That-
we've kind of
everybody will have a full house, yeah.
yeah, we kind of
What
established it's
about little
likely
Tommy?
Little Tommy was already
died
dead.
before, yeah.
Yes, but how
No.
did I mean?
We don't
Yeah.
know. We need to go ask the Welsh dead lady again.
Well, but here's the thing: if he died before, as they said, I don't think there was a ghost, or maybe they freed it or whatever. Like, I don't
Possibly.
know. Who knows? Maybe they were really like insensitive and thought, yeah, let's just keep his spirit trapped here for all eternity.
Yeah, maybe it's somewhere in one of these jars.
Oh
Little
gosh, that'd be horrible. You open it. Oh, I've been in there for 40 years.
My God, you're like a prune. That's what happens when you keep someone in vinegar for so long.
So, yes, dawn is breaking. The house is altogether less creepy by daylight. As the light,
the empty
shafts of light
room.
penetrate the rooms and light up the dust motes dancing in the air. A sort of sense of peace settles over the house.
Father, would you maybe like to say morning prayers
I would.
since we are in a chapel?
Yes.
I think we could all do with a moment of calm.
Let us pray.
Thank you. Making notes.
And then he begins to recite a short prayer of thanks to the Holy Father for enabling us all to survive the evening's ordeal, and a prayer for strength for whatever may await us in the future, and then issues an Amen, and then follows it up with a rendition of the Lord's Prayer, at which point everyone is like going
and now I should say all 27 verses of Michael. No, please no.
Forever and ever. For thine is the power and the glory.
Yep.
Forever and ever. Amen. Well.
Yeah.
Done.
Better?
Melissa's just like, oh, this is like my wedding all over again. Jeez. Oh.
Oh, not religion. Oh.
Can we just get to the banquet bit, please?
I want to do the dancing.
Yeah, I do. Now hurry up.
Yes.
What do you want to do? Do you want to head back to the annex, or do you want to keep exploring?
What would we be doing come next?
What percent of the
we've got
of the house
Building.
do we think we've covered?
Probably about 70%.
Right.
But clearly the bits that he wanted you to see.
I'm probably going to be leaving, just as Agnes.
You put that pillow down.
I mean, the pillow's gone.
You left the pillow. We still got the ledger, though.
Yeah, I
That's
have
more
the ledger.
interesting.
You know, I'm assuming that Culver's prepared some lovely breakfast.
Oh, breakfast! Excellent. Okay, good. We're going back to I think some pickles and some boiled eggs and obviously some wurst. Oh yeah, breakfast time.
Well, I'm rather hoping for some kippers. Do they have kippers in Austria, Herr Doctor?
What is a keeper?
Oh wow, you're in for a treat.
It's smoked fish. Quite
Why would
delightful.
I smoke a cigar?
You will.
Yeah.
Now you can smoke a herring. Chuckle at that.
Oh, pickle! Your pickle's
That's it.
here.
Every
Smoke me a
time you
kipper,
laugh
I'll
in
be back for
character,
breakfast.
It has to be like that, Savinio.
Yeah.
Has to be.
That was good. That was.
So you make your way back to the annex, where you
Talking
are
about
quite
breakfast.
right. Culver is beginning to prepare breakfast, and there is quite a hearty meal set up with kippers and sausage and bacon and egg and
You
mushrooms
have some blood pudding.
and black pudding
Blood pudding.
because
Or white.
Oh, yeah.
depending
Okay,
on what one you want.
good. Yeah.
I'm taking a very hefty swig of my glass.
and lots
Morning.
and lots of strong sweet tea is also available.
Well, I'll
Ah,
Irish that up.
Do you have any coffee? You take the beans, you roast them, you grind them, you pour the boiling water over the top. Do you
Yes,
have
I'm
Yeah,
afraid
it's-
not,
it's
sir.
sophisticated.
I did endeavour
Tea.
to get hold of some, but Hoxne can be a tad provincial at times.
Okay, I will have my tea black. Thank you.
I had coffee
Very
once in
continental,
London.
Yeah?
Mm.
What were you doing in London,
Oh,
Reverend? Cosmopolitan for you?
Yes, rather.
Maybe taking in a show?
No. It was pastoral work.
Ah, you were tending to the young ladies.
Young ladies, young men, old ladies, old men. The
It's
Lord,
nice to know you do not discriminate.
I most certainly do not. I afford.
Albrecht. Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
Albrecht, just stop. It's not funny. It's like playing with a child, okay? Just please stop. It's look, Reverend, I'm not going to say this often. It's fine. It's lovely that you were doing work
Thank you.
in London. It's fine,
Yes,
okay?
and
What have you done with... I think Agnes is possessed.
I'm beginning to wonder whether it's
I'm-
my husband or whether it's just all men.
Oh, okay. that's quite good, yes.
Cruel.
Ah, yeah, so
I'm-
true. Yeah, you're so right.
Uh,
Yes.
And
so-
what we shall do is we shall wrap it up there with you having breakfast just before Sir Stephen comes out of his room and comes to join you. So next week, when we
What did we
start
do
the
with
session,
Captain Thomas? Did we bring
He
him
is
with us?
sitting at the
did you
top
wheel
of the
him back
brought him with
over
us.
here? You kind of
And I
bumped
want
him
him
down
to
the
wake
stairs
up like that.
in the wheelchair and wheeled him back over to the house.
He's unconscious
No,
because of the banging his head on the back of the wheelchair as he went down the stairs.
I like the idea that like the butler guy just picked like princess carried him down the stairs. He just wakes up like, oh, okay, this is a bit okay. Hello.
No, we just wheeled him up to the breakfast table. He's got a full
Carried him.
plate.
Wheeled him up to the breakfast table, loaded up his plate. He's going to wake up and probably just start.
Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be such a good way to wake up, like already, like with a fry up in front of you.
Marvellous. I'd love that.
So thank you very much for joining us this evening for episode 3, which is technically episode 2 because episode 1 was episode 0
Yes.
of the haunted host of Hoxne Hall. The players have now met the entire host
Yes.
and will now need to
Strategize.
decide what to do next. Will they be able to help
Leave.
the host, or will they give up now and quit and just go back to their homes in their various nations, providing us with the opposite of our alien game, which ran for 7 sessions out of 5, giving us instead 3 sessions out of 8. So we will see you same bat time, same bat channel next week for more Vaesen. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your rerolls. Hopefully that's given you a bit of a chance to build up some Garblag groats that you can spend on my character on Thursday.
Oh,
Do
mine.
you not want to mention?
Oh,
Are we
mine.
not doing something tomorrow?
We
Or-
are
Yeah.
doing something
Advert.
tomorrow. We have
Come on.
got a new show starting. We're doing a short run of a Coriolis game,
Yes.
which Gen 2K is going to be running. He's probably sat in the chat waiting for us to do that, although actually it's quarter past 11. He might have been sent to bed by now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to be playing Coriolis on
Right.
Wednesdays for a couple of weeks, and we're currently in negotiations to look at another game to possibly follow that, which may be also of a spacey theme and possibly
Yes.
involving some form of war in
the
the
stars.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't know what that could
Yeah.
be.
What the rumor mill is currently generating.
Star
And
Trek?
who's in that? That's you and me. Lewis is GMing, and we've also got. Oh, I cannot remember. I barely remember that I
Dan.
was in it.
Dan.
Dan,
Dan, I
yes.
believe, is in
Yes,
that
Dan
one.
was in it, yeah.
And
And someone else.
Eve.
Eve,
is in
yes,
that one as
yes.
well.
Sorry, Eve.
So we
You're
will see you
watching this
tomorrow
retroactively. Sorry.
for Coriolis, where I will
Yes.
be playing a sexy lady.
Oh,
I'll be
you
playing
like
a
sexy ladies.
terrified
don't you?
pilot.
I will be playing a faceless member of the crew, making it all happen, bringing
Yeah.
it to life.
And then Thursday,
point, too.
we've got Dragons on an Ashen Breeze, our AD&D 2nd edition Dragonlance Chronicle featuring the so-called heroes of Calaman, which actually seem to be more like the Keystone
me
Cops
laugh
of
every
Calaman,
time.
bumbling our way through town, whoop, 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 as
Such
we
a good
take
cast.
on
Yeah.
Yeah.
River Sonomar's Wizard's Tower.
Yeah.
But
It
we've
is-
been Garbler Games, and we will see
Yeah.
you tomorrow, Thursday, and then next week for more Vaesen. Thank you very much, and good
Bye-bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.